What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like Caitlin Clark has broke her silence about the Seattle Storm game that is set to take place today. And she just joined a nice group of company guys for this one here. We got to go all the way up to Indy. Let's get it. Let's go. It is game day for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in Indiana. We know last time we seen Caitlin Clark on a basketball court, she put on a masterclass against the Phoenix Mercury. Can she do it again against the Seattle Storm? I'm here to tell you, yes, she can. I believe the Indiana Fever is about to go on a win streak like no other and solidify their spot into the playoffs. Indiana Fever is going to be a scary team to face in the playoffs, man. They can beat any team any given night. I believe Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have a great chance to make it very far in this playoffs if they make it. With all that being said, Caitlin Clark has joined an elite group of basketball players. With this new record, it's being reported that Caitlin Clark joins Steph Curry and Michael Jordan with rare rookie box score stats. Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark inserted herself into a select group thanks to her performance in Friday 98-89 win over the Phoenix Mercury. Clark finished with 29 points, 8 of 16 shooting, along with 5 rebounds and 10 assists. Steph Curry and Michael Jordan are the only rookies across the NBA and WNBA to have multiple games with at least 29 points on 70% shooting, 5 boards, and 10 dimes. So now Caitlin Clark is in the conversation of Michael Jordan and Steph Curry, and that's what I've been telling y'all all season long. She is like Michael Jordan, bruh. I cannot make this up. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. She the female MJ. With all that being said, Caitlin Clark set the record straight about tonight's matchup against the Seattle Storm. Let's roll the footage right now.
For the swimming trials, or are you just going sweet by sweet?
I think I might be going sweet by sweet. It was weird. It felt so different being in there for the swimming trials than this, obviously. It's just the way they had it separated and had a whole pool in there is kind of hard to comprehend, but obviously my first Colts game, and even though it wasn't really a real game, it was still a lot of fun. My dad was the one that wanted to go, so he's a big football fan, so he was enjoying it, and it was fun for me too. And you know, getting to do stuff outside of basketball and take your mind away from it is really fun for myself. So hopefully there'll be a few more where I can go to that are, you know, the real deal, but the fans were pretty excited too.
I think Mina's taking care of Coach, so let's just try naturally passing. There we go, Matt and James.
Yeah, hi Caitlin. Kind of on a similar vein, what's it been like to, you know, whether it's the swim trials or whether it's the Colts game, just continue to integrate into the city 4 months into your pro career?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. Like, it's cool to see how the city supports all the sports here and the events that we have here. Like, it's a great city to host certain events in, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think the Women's Final Four comes here in a few years, the Men's Final Four is here. It's just a great city that really supports basketball, supports all sports. And for me, like, I'm a sports lover. I grew up loving every kind of sport, watching whatever it was that was on TV. So for me, like, I try to get out and support as much as I can. And then the Indians game was happening last night too at the same time. So it was a nightmare getting home, having to drive through all of that. But it's hard to choose between you want to go to the baseball game, you want to go to the football game. But it was definitely a good weekend for Indianapolis sports with all the events going on. It would definitely be a fun one to be at this weekend in the city.
James.
Kayla, I'm nerding out about this, and I wanted to ask you, but when it comes to your dribble drives, how much better do you think you are like hand-to-hand combat and like just getting people's hands off of you with using your hands, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I feel like I probably don't even realize what like I'm doing it half the time. I think just that was probably something I accepted more so in college. I think the physicality definitely increased over the course of my career. And then as you come into the league, like, it's just going to be more physical. That's how it is. So I think just, you know, it's going to be something that you have to accept. Like, they're not going to make calls like that. It's going to be physical. You know, but you can also be physical back with them and use it to your advantage. If somebody's being physical with you, don't let them just push you around all the time. So I think that's something that, you know, I don't consciously think about during the game. It's just something that kind of comes natural as you work on it and get more used to it, especially when you're attacking or setting up screens or things like that.
Tony.
I asked you about Kelsey after the last game. I'm curious if before being here you played with anyone kind of similar to her, any guard that you had to play with like you played with her?
That's tough. I don't know. I think she's so unique. Honestly, I think her speed. There's nobody I really played with that has the speed that she has, and the way she can finish around the rim, but also be, a really good catch and shoot 3-point shooter. She creates off the dribble. I don't really think there's really anybody I've played with that is as similar to her, just from a standpoint of how she can do multiple different things. And for her size, it's really impressive too. Like, she finishes around the basket really well for her size, and she's really, really fast. And I think you can kind of see us starting to develop our chemistry more and more, especially in transition. I think she's really starting to read my eyes and understand exactly what, I want here and there in transition. And, it's created a lot of fun plays for us.
And when you walk off after wins, you've signed everything in the tunnel. I know you've talked about what that means for fans to have that moment with you. What does that mean for you to have that moment right after a victory?
Yeah, it's fun. The more we win, the more I sign. So the fans better keep their fingers crossed. The more we win, I'll sign more. And it's fun. Like, a lot of those people, they travel from really far to get here. I mean, there's a lot of people that come up to my parents throughout games, and people come from Vermont. I know people are here from Buffalo, New York, and are driving all these ways to, just have one experience in this gym with us. And for me, that's really cool. And there was actually a young girl that my parents ran into. My mom was actually in the Kansas City airport, and she was coming to her first ever Fever game, and she was just really excited. And my mom had one of my trading cards with her in her purse and gave it to her, and she started crying. And I actually ran into the little girl in the tunnel after the last game. So I think it just, puts into perspective, how special these moments are for people, whether they meet you or not. Getting to enjoy this environment and this experience in the game is, what makes really lifelong memories for them.
Christine, then Lou.
So Friday night, obviously, first came back after almost a month, and great statement. Obviously, you guys played well, you won. So now, what does this game mean? What is this? What's this one? Thanks.
I think this is a big one for us. I think if you look back at our schedule, when we've had big wins, we've struggled the next game. Whether it was the Minnesota game where we went at Minnesota, or whether it was the New York game here, we really struggled when we came out the next game. So I think this is a great opportunity, another game at home for a team that has beat us 3 times. You know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. But I think just using the crowd, using this home court advantage, and really playing into that, but also using the confidence and the momentum that we built on Friday coming into this game. So I think it's a really important game for us. I think it's one that we can continue to stack wins and build confidence on. So hope we can change history of how we've gone about really great wins, and then the one after that, I think this one will be good for us.
Finish up with Lou.
That was Caitlin Clark setting the record straight about today's matchup against the Seattle Storm. I believe they're going to win today. Now, the Seattle Storm has beaten them 3 other times, but guys, definitely get down in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts about this matchup. Keep them bells on, because I'm going to bring you the news. And until next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here. Peace. Shake the haters